You're listening to another episode of Retail Shift, business advice for inventory-based brands and the merchants who run them. I'm Chris Guillo, CEO of Merchant Method and designer of the Merchant Map, but most importantly, your retail coach for the next few minutes. I want to start by playing a quick game. Do you know what makes IKEA, Nordstrom, and your brand the same? I'm going to give you a hint. What makes all three businesses the same is exactly what differentiates them from brands like Etsy, Rent the Runway, and Birchbox. You, like IKEA and Nordstrom, your brand has to carry inventory in order to make revenue. Whereas Etsy, Rent the Runway, and Birchbox, at their core, they're service-based businesses. Yep, there's some subtle nuance because in modern retail, there's always nuance. But you, merchant, run an inventory-based business. And this is precisely what you need to understand and master in order to achieve profitability and self-sustainability. So you can be just a touch more hands-off. So why is understanding the merchandise life cycle of an inventory-based brand so important? Let's set aside revenue and profit just for like a hot second and focus in on this. If you're sick of feeling behind in your work, if you're tired of guessing what your next move is going to be, and if it's going to be the one that finally makes a difference, you might be running your business generally, as in any general business. Or worse yet, you might be applying these incompatible practices to the structure of your brand. Now, if you would want to make more confident decisions and take more decisive action, running an inventory-based business based on the life cycle of merchandise is such an important thing to learn and a door to unlock. And at the end of this episode, I'm going to invite you to join me on a journey of learning how to focus on the right thing at the right time for your specific brand. Because when you come to embrace and intend and plan your operations around the life cycle of products, you'll spend your time more effectively, more efficiently, and more profitably. So what happens is small business owners and leaders that want to grow and grow and grow, they haven't really set the foundation of something that's self-sustaining. And so they often feel like the day-to-day business is holding them back from their big goals. But instead, I really want you to understand the end-to-end of running a business that has inventory so that you really, really, really understand and are able to get ahead of the business, not have it control you and your time, not having most of your actions be reactionary. I want you to be able to lead with confidence and take decisive action. So let's talk about the 6 phases of the merchandise life cycle. And there are 6. And as I describe them, you'll come to see how this life cycle spans a longer amount of time, and a significantly longer amount of time than the product or the merchandise that you have to sell and the customer who wants to buy it in this season. So phase 1, inspiration. Inspiration may come when you're traveling or when you see a particular color or pattern that catches your eye. Often this is followed by looking at design samples, doing research, designing, going on buying trips. Inspiration is such a fun phase to be in. And often for my students, I want them in this phase longer than they currently have time for. I want to help them do the juicy fun stuff. Phase 2, product development. Now this typically is for my private label retailers, my makers, my small batch manufacturers, my designers. This is where you start to source the raw materials for your designs. You're finalizing the specifications, working on samples or approving samples from your manufacturer. And then this is often where you negotiate your final cost so that you can establish your wholesale pricing. Phase 3 is production, and this is often where my makers and my retailers meet. This is where purchase orders start to get written, where production is happening. This is where the lead time is. Packing happens, shipping happens in this production phase. Phase 4 is pre-season, before the goods are in the store. This is where marketing starts to happen. Photography starts to get pulled together, either because you're taking photos of samples or you're getting stock photos from your vendor. This is often when you start to prep your shop, whether it's a physical brick and mortar or it's your web shop. You're on the back end, you're setting it up to receive new items. You're thinking about style numbers and pricing and vendor terms and all that good stuff. Phase 5 is in season. And in season and the shoulder of a little bit of pre-season and a little bit after is where we tend to think of as the majority of our timing, because this is where we put a lot of effort into selling, re-merchandising, responding to the things that sell really well and seeing if we can reorder them or make more, and then managing the exceptions of things that are just not selling well at all. Phase 6 is post-season, and this is often where we just want to move on to the next merchandise life cycle. This is really where we take the time to analyze, and we ask ourselves, what did we say we were going to do at the beginning of the season, and what did we do? What were the results, and what can we learn from them? And this is also where you manage through what I call your inventory dispensation, your final markdown strategy, your warehouse sales, sample sales, final clearance. That whole thing from inspiration to post-season can take a long time. And sometimes it can take almost a whole year, for some companies, over a whole year. And when we think through the life cycle of merchandise, or even just one item, and compare that to the shortened amount of time when we are selling and customers are buying that item the most, it's no wonder that there's a push and pull for our focus and a push and pull for our time, because you start to stack up different seasons and stack up multiple merchandise life cycles. My promise to you is that I'm here to support you, and in a way that's you-centered. You don't have to be like me. You don't have to plan like me. You don't have to have my exact experience to really take advantage of the tips I'm sharing here on Retail Shift. Remember, knowledge and action are most effective when they're applied within the context of your unique business using your unique business style. So when I was thinking about how do I deliver on my promise to you, I thought, wouldn't it be cool to help you discover how you move and groove so that you can leverage that even more, use it to your advantage even more than you already are? So to help you with that, I developed a free 1-minute quiz to help you understand your retail success style. And I'm so excited about it. I've been testing it out with a select group of merchants for the past few months, and I'm finally ready to share it with you. All you have to do is go to merchantmethod.com/quiz. When you do, after you take your quiz, you'll get specific tips from me based on your success style. Resources like the best of, audio lessons, video tutorials, and even detailed guides if you're into that thing. Now, can I be honest with you? This is going to be the easiest homework I ever give you on this podcast. You are literally 60 seconds away from massive insight. I mean, how cool is that? Again, I'll catch you over at merchantmethod.com/quiz. And with that, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. It would not be the same without you.